Okay, we're gonna go in and inspect this hive. This is the hive we installed a package in 6 weeks ago. 6 weeks is kind of a important date because this is the week that honeybees that were born in this hive start coming out and become foragers. So we should see a lot more activity this week. But we're just gonna go in and kind of look and see how it's growing. Oh my gosh, we have a lot of bees in here.
I need you to move that.
We have a lot of bees in here. Take a look in there. The top is just covered with bees. We're ready today to add another box to give them more room if it looks like they need it. And my guess is they probably will.
Crap.
What's the matter?
I can't get back far enough.
You can go over there. Okay, we're just going to give them a little bit of smoke here to get them started. Okay, go downstairs, kids. Give that smoke a minute to work. Look at the big activity in front. We have a lot of activity today. It's nice and warm. It's been really windy here all week long. That's why we have to wait till today to come into the hive. But today is a beautiful, calm day. And as I suspected, they have eaten all of the sugar. So we're going to add a frame feed. Oh, they've almost eaten that entire next pollen patty too.
Holy crud, that was a whole one?
That was a whole one. Just, oh, there's a little bit of syrup left in here.
Wow.
So they didn't quite run out, but they came darn close.
Did you take the lid off of that?
Yes. Oh man, and they are building wax like nobody's business. Little spacers. We're going to put a frame feeder in one side over here. If we add the second box, I'll put the frame feeder in the second box. Alrighty, hive tool. Let's give them a little more smoke. Okay, kids, downstairs. Since I started using burlap for my smoker fuel, it worked real well. I was using just some wood chips before, and I couldn't keep the darn thing lit. Get rid of some of this burr comb here. Out of the way, girls. I mean all of you. Come on, I don't want to decapitate anybody. Oh, and this is stuck on here good.
You need to be careful grabbing that with those gloves because there was bees on that.
Yeah, that's okay. They're friendly.
Once you grab them.
Started using these nitrile gloves because with the leather I just couldn't get a hold of things. I've been in the hive a couple of times now with the nitrile, and I have not had anybody even try to bump me. Okay, let's start pulling these frames out and see what they look like. Let's start out at the edge here, give us a little room. Oh, that is a heavy one. I'm going to start at this other side because they're not
I
using.
would smoke them.
We'll get there. I'm going to start at this edge because it's a little lighter. That one's, they've got pretty packed with sugar and honey now. This one, they're starting to put a little bit of syrup. I see it glistening in the bottom of the cells. This is that pre-drawn comb. Okay, so there's...
Turn it back over.
Yeah, got a little bee down cleaning out. Either that or they're probably packing syrup into those cells. There's a little bit of syrup even on this side. Yeah, this is Since they're already using these outside frames, we're definitely going to give them a second story today. Let's see what the brood frames look like. Okay, girls, let's get this pollen patty over here out of the way. They have been consuming the sugar water like crazy. I filled that feeder just like 2 days ago. Okay, here we have lots of capped. Now, there's lots of capped honey up here. And I can tell that this is a lot of sugar water, but there is some nectar in it because the sugar water stays clear. Since we got the yellowing going on down here, that's probably nectar being added to it also. So at some point soon, we can probably cut back on feeding and just let them start adding honey. Okay, but that looks real good. That's fairly heavy. They've got it fairly well started to fill it with honey. This frame's lighter. This is, well, they have not completely drawn this out yet. I don't see, I see a couple of cells with a little bit of syrup in it. On the back side, they're still just drawing that out. I may not add that second story today. I may give them a few more days. We'll see what the rest of these look like. This one's a little bit heavy. Okay, we got some capped syrup in the center. We got lots of larvae in there. Those are probably capped brood then. These in here I think is capped brood because there's larvae around it. There's also a few cells that there's lots of larvae in there. See if we can see the queen. This is a likely frame for her since they're just starting to work it.
See if she's already laid all her eggs.
Yeah, as those in the center emerge, she will lay eggs in those spots. Lots of larvae and capped brood, capped pupa on this side. Let me hold it up to the sun, see if I can see any eggs in there. I don't see any eggs, so I don't think she's currently on this frame. So that's one frame that has...
You've got a bee under your thumb.
Oh, this one?
Yes.
Nah, she doesn't mind. She jumps off. I've really started to lose my fear of these girls because they're just so gentle. Oh my goodness, look at all that capped brood. That's a... Oh.
Look, a dancer.
We have one drone cell that I can see. Point him at... Oh, two of them.
Well, hold it still.
Sorry.
Here's a drone cell.
And here's another one.
Oh, there it is.
One thing we're
Look at
checking...
the dancer.
Where?
This one right
Oh
here.
yeah. Got a waggle dance going on. This is really a lot of bees on here compared to last time. If you looked at my last video, you'll see that there were maybe half of this many bees. One thing I'm looking for, I started to say a minute ago, is to see if any queen cells are being started. If they start building queen cells, then we definitely need to give them more space because they may be starting to think about swarming. This being a package that started only 6 weeks ago, it's highly unlikely that they'll want to swarm this year. But they are growing like crazy. So I do want to keep an eye out for that. Give a little incentive to go back downstairs. Alrighty, next frame. This one's pretty heavy. Still looking out for
Look
the
at
queen.
the bottom.
Yeah, we're gonna look at that bottom closely to see if that might be a queen. Oh, there's a queen.
Yeah, I see her.
We'll hold her still. She's nice looking fat queen. Looking for a place to lay an egg, so let's see if we can see any eggs in this. The way we do this is get the sun behind my back, and I forgot to take my darn glasses off. I'm gonna have to remember to do that because with my dark glasses it's really hard to see eggs. I don't see many eggs.
Mike, reach in and just drop them down here.
No, I'm okay. Where'd our queen go? Oh, here she is. She's still working on that side. Okay, okay, that cluster at the bottom was not the queen cell. So I'm gonna look at this other side real quick and then put her back in safe and sound. Lots of capped brood. They're starting to put a little bit of honey. That's called backfilling. When they, yeah, more drone cells. When they start putting honey in cells that have emerged, that's called backfilling. And that's a sign that they do need more space. So I will go ahead and add that second box today. Okay, Miss Queen, go back to work. We'll leave you alone. Another fairly heavy frame.
Look at the bottom again.
They're building comb on the bottom. There are no queen cups. If we spot a queen cup, I'll definitely point it out. That's the beginning of a cell to create a new queen. I did see the beginnings of one last week in the video when I reviewed it, but I think they've torn it out. I don't see it. It was on, I think, that frame that the queen was on. But anyway, this frame has lots of capped brood, lots of larvae. Everybody's working real hard.
Several big drone cells.
Yeah.
Here and here, and up here.
That might be a queen cell. It's got a larva in it. It's probably a drone. We'll keep an eye on that one next week. See that big one at the bottom?
Mm-hmm. That they're working on?
Uh-huh.
That is big.
It has a big larva in it. I don't think it's not big enough to be a queen cell. It's a drone, I'm sure. I was also looking for ants. We got ants on the outside of the colony. If they start getting inside, then I need to do something about it. But I have not seen any on the inside, which is good. Another nice heavy frame. This one, let's see what's on here. This one's all resources, looks like. I see there's honey in it, lots of capped honey. So they're getting plenty of food.
Big old waggle dance, too. Right here.
Oh yeah, watch them waggle. Waggle dances, this bee has found a source of either pollen or nectar and is telling the hive where to go to find it. The size of the waggle dance,
The number of waggles.
the number of waggles, that all gives them information as to how far away it is and what direction based on the position of the sun.
Backed up, it's okay.
There's lots of pollen being stored up at the top. And I don't see any larvae in this one. This is all resources. Well, they're filling this one up really good with honey. I can, at this rate,
Okay, I'm backing up.
I'm not sure how much more I need to feed them. Okay, this is really a happy hive. Ow. And at this point, we're producing a lot more bees per day than we're losing to old age. This one's almost full of capped honey and larvae. Somebody's buzzing my head. She's not happy. Haven't been bumped, which is their warning before they sting.
I haven't been bumped either.
But they are letting me know that they're checking me out. Okay, girl, move so I can put my thumb there. Okay, last frame. This one they're just starting to fill
Hold
with.
still. Oh, turn it. Can you turn it over? One's got a lot of pollen on him. I hope it's in the picture. I can't see. A lot of real red pollen.
Okay, got lots of, not a lot of pollen. Well, yeah, this is all pollen and nectar, so they're just putting resources into this one. Okay, let me check my checklist. I always forget stuff, so I wrote a checklist this time so I make sure. Let's see, look for ants. Okay, I'm still undecided about adding that box, but since they're working every single frame, they've only got one that they're still drawing out, so I think I will go ahead and add that second box. I do not want them to start thinking that they're out of room, which would make them want to swarm. You getting buzzed?
Mm-hmm.
Smoke them again
Oh, shit.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. They ain't gonna do anything. Squeeze these over.
He was buzzing the black foam.
Ah.
They don't like dark colors.
So they've pretty much filled every frame except one that they're drawing out and this one that they're just starting to add honey to. I did not see any queen cells, so we don't have to worry about that. Squeeze these back together, give them... Girls, you're gonna have to get out from between those frames.
Smoke them.
Yeah, let me smoke you. Scurry away. I don't know what's going on. Having a little conference up here in that corner. We'll break that up. Okay, that'll send them back down. We'll center these frames again. Get them all pressed tightly together, help keep them from building that burr comb between. Alrighty, so let me step in front of you and grab this. Oh, detachable handles. Got to be careful. Okay, on both sides. Okay, we're going to basically double the amount of space that they have. This is a deep box that I built for them over during the week. Get it all squared up here. Alrighty, it's just full of 9, these are called frames of foundation. Foundation is basic, well, somebody already found it.
Oh my God.
Look, there's even pollen over at the edge.
Are you serious? Oh, I see. Uh-huh. Well, that's
I
funny.
think that's what that is. Anyway, foundation is just a sheet of plastic with a honeycomb imprint that has been dipped in beeswax so that they will be most likely to want to come up and use it. Gonna spray it with a little bit of sugar water here. At least a couple of, oh come on, spray already. Spray a couple of the frames with sugar water just to attract them up.
There's wax on it already.
Yeah, it's dipped in wax.
Oh, I see.
So it'll be a little more attractive to them. But we're gonna,
Oh my gosh.
I don't think they're gonna have a problem finding it.
They found that while it was just sitting on the ground here. That's amazing.
I was going to just go ahead and add a honey super, but these guys are so prolific. That queen is laying eggs at a fantastic rate. So I'm gonna go ahead and give them a second box. let them go ahead and start drawing it out and hopefully laying brood in it or laying eggs in it. And at some point, if I need to strengthen this other hive, I can take some of the brood out and add it to that hive. But for now, got a frame feeder. We're gonna switch over to it since we got lots of room now. Basically, we pour syrup in here. I got a stick floating in it. Just give the bees something to land on so they don't drown in the syrup. And would you hand me that gallon? Oh, come on. Lid got glued down. This holds about a gallon of basically 1-to-1 mix of sugar and water. We'll fill that up. I didn't bring any pollen patties out with me. We'll have to bring one out later because they've almost consumed the one that they've got. If there's not enough pollen coming in to feed the larvae, we have to supplement with pollen patties. Basically just a little bit of plant protein, a little bit of sugar, and a feeding supplement or stimulator in there. That'll get them going. A couple days I'll come out and give them a little more.
Yeah, you just put ants in there.
Oh, they're going to take care of those ants.
Do they? They kill them?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
They can get overwhelmed by the ants.
Those are tiny though.
But generally, as long as it's not too bad, they're going to be able to deal with them. We'll keep an eye on it. In California, we have Argentinian ants, which are these little ants that...
There's a lot of ants or bees under there.
Yeah. Is that better? Get all the bees off of here. There we go. They didn't like me tapping on the hive. That got them off. Yeah, they're not happy with me either. They'll find their way back into the hive, so we'll add this clear cover back on top, which is really cool. Okay, either in or out, lady. It's really cool because I can come out here, I like to come out in the evening and just have a look at them, see kind of how they're doing. Alrighty. Put this medium hive body back on top. Keep an eye on them. At some point in the next couple of weeks, we'll probably add a honey super, which is basically just use this box, fill it up with frames, and let them start moving up and storing their honey in it. Okay, I think that's everything we plan to do in this hive today. It's just grown up into a bigger hive. Let's give them a little time to fill it out, and we'll check back in on them in a week or so. I might give them 2 weeks this time since they got all that room. But we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.